Okay. Now, in regards to other programs, let's also talk. I'll talk to you first, Mr. Jackson. What exactly is your part of the program through PCCEO?
PCCEO has secured a grant from HUD, which we call the SFOR grant. It's a single-family owner-occupied rehabilitation grant.
Okay.
And what we do is go into a house and basically bring it up to code, make sure it's safe, secure place for the family that's there. But it's also pretty much specified to the elderly. I mean, that's what we're targeting with this grant that we just received that we're going to start in July.
Okay.
We're going to do 6 houses this year, and it's going to be for senior citizens mainly. 5 of the 6 are going to be for senior citizens, 65 and older. They've also got income eligibility requirements. They've got to own the property. There can't be any tax liens on it. Taxes have to be paid, and insurance paid up. And basically, once they go through the pre-application process, we do the same thing as like weatherization do. We go in there and try to find ways to make sure the house is safe, energy efficient, and all the code issues are up to snuff for the city. It's just a safe environment.
Okay, and in regard to the area that you service, what's the area that you service?
This particular grant year, we're going to target Richwoods Township, which is Peoria Heights.
Okay.
We just came from Limestone, where we did 14 houses this past year. And this year we're going to do, well, with the reductions because of the state budget and everything, we've got enough money to do about 6 houses, maybe 7.
Okay. And typically, without reductions, approximately how many families would you have normally serviced?
If we could have acquired what we acquired with our last grant, 14 to 15.
Okay. What types of homes do you rehab?
Well, like I said in the grant, it's got to be single-family homes. They've got to be owner-occupied. We don't do rentals, landlord-type situations, and basically it's for the elderly is what we're targeting. But it's single-family owner-occupied.
Okay.
We're just looking for general, basic residential housing.
And how do you assist some of these homes with like dangerous high lead levels?
We have a staff member that is licensed through the state for lead abatement assessment. We go through there and do an assessment when we do the pre-app process, and then if we find lead and everything goes right, and we're going to use that house as one of our projected houses, the crews that we use are all licensed lead abatement contractors. So when we go into the house and we do this work, any lead issues that we have, we're going to mitigate.
And how does someone get in contact with your program if they feel that they may qualify?
They can contact PCCEO, 671-3900. Ask for a lady named Melanie. She does all our pre-application qualification stuff, and she can get them pretty much started from there. It's a little lengthier process in weatherization because there's, we got environmental reviews, and we got to make sure the area that we're working on is safe and meets all the guidelines through the city and all that kind of stuff. But basically just call the agency and we can go from there.
And you alluded to a little bit earlier in regards to funding cuts. I want to ask you the exact same question. And it sounds like when programs like yours receive funding cuts, it really affects a lot of families. Is this true? Or
yes and no. I mean, it's not something everybody knows about anyway. So I mean, it's not like it's going to be missed. I mean, until we actually advertise this and put it out there before anybody even knows about it regardless. But yeah, I mean, basically, we were cut in half. So yeah, I mean, it's going to affect, half a dozen families possibly this year from what we're used to doing.
Okay. And I don't think you realize, but a lot of people are going to know about this now, so phones may be ringing.
That's good. We need applicants, so give us a call and we'll try to help you out how we can.
Okay, so Ms. Brooks, I have some questions for you as well.
Okay.
And the program that you're over with PCCEO, what is that particular program?
We call it the LIHEAP program, which is the Low Income Energy Assistance Program. And what that program does, it assists families with their energy bills.
Okay. So explain a little bit about the program, what it does in terms of helping someone with their energy bill.
It helps families in the low energy poverty guidelines. Then we assist them with their bills, and what they do is the program year, it runs from September through March. through May, I'm sorry, through May. And so our program year started September 1st of 2011, and it ended May 31st. So what we do is from September through May, we take appointments every month.
Okay.
And families can call in and get an appointment, or we have been using Carver Community Center, and they can walk in and get an appointment. So we just try to help people that find themselves on hard times, help them with their utility bill.
And approximately how many families do you service in this area?
Between this program year, beginning September 1 through May 31st, we've served over 13,000 families.
Wow, that is a lot. And could you explain some of the components of your program?
Well, the one program that everybody's familiar with is the LIHEAP program, and that's the Low Income Energy Assistance Program, where you would get a one-time benefit that should, for 12 months. And then there's a PIP program, which is the percentage of income payment plan, where the state helps the customer pay a percentage of their bill.
Okay. How does it affect you all in regards to programs being cut as well?
Well, like I said, we've served this year 13,000 plus. And I'm sure if the state cuts the budget, it would be less. It's a possibility. This year we didn't have the Reconnect program, whereas if a family found themselves after they've gotten the benefit during the program year and find themselves in a situation where they were going to be disconnected again, we didn't get that funding this year. Last year we did. So, there was families that we probably could have helped. If we had that funding, we probably could have helped those families, but weren't able to.
And how does someone get in touch with your particular program if they feel that they need that assistance?
They will call PCCEO at 671-3900 and ask for the Energy Department, and we will provide services for you.
Well, I definitely want to thank all three of you all for coming here. Hopefully we got the information out in regards to your programs. Guarantee your phones and appointments are probably going to be ringing off the hook. Please stay tuned right here on Captions. We're going to get into some more right here. Good evening and welcome back to Captions. I'm Lamar Anderson, sitting in for Mr. Andre Bohannon. We're still continuing our series in terms of changing lives, community action. I have two very special guests in the studio with me, Ms. Stephanie Green and Ms. Joyce Banks. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the show. You all have worked with two very different programs, and I want to talk a little bit about the programs that you work with. First, let me start with you, Ms. Green. What particular program do you currently work with?
I'm with the PCCEO Incorporated Foster Grandparent Program.
Okay, and could you tell us a little bit about that particular program?
The Foster Grandparent Program is a unique intergenerational program which allows for seniors in our community who are 55 and older to volunteer and do one-on-one with children in the schools and the daycares around Peoria.
Okay, and is that like a bridging the gap piece? Is that something?
It's a bridging the gap, but it's a win-win situation because due to the lack of resources with District 150, there is not the eligibility to have teacher's aides or student assistants. So our volunteers go into the schools and the daycares and they work one-on-one with literacy and self-help skills with the children. They help with math, reading, shapes, numbers, counting. They do a multitude of assistance in the classrooms.
Okay, and approximately how many hours a day?
They volunteer
per week?
between 4 and 8 hours a day. Usually it's Monday through Friday, but we do have a few sites that are Monday through Thursday.
And what about summers? What happens during the summertime?
Usually the volunteers that we have positioned in District 150 locations, we relocate them for the summer and then they go back to their home site when school starts back.
And approximately how many foster grandparents do you have currently working within the program?
We approximately have 54 volunteers currently, and we are stipend for 55.
Okay, and in a good situation, in terms of foster grandparents, have you always had the maximum amount you need, or are you always in need of foster grandparents to come and volunteer?
Well, due to our volunteers being seniors, we do run into issues where we have, them come out due to health issues. We try to work around that, but we try to exceed our maximum. So when there are times where, we do have volunteers that are out, we can fill those slots, quickly. Right now we're looking for volunteers.
Okay.
We're looking to bring approximately 4 to 5 more on into the program.
Okay. What do you feel grandparents personally receive becoming a foster grandparent?
Well, one, they receive an opportunity to help the children in our community. Two, they receive a stipend. Although it's $2.65 an hour, that money is not claimed. It cannot be touched by any government or any other program. It's tax refunded.
Okay. And are there some other things that the grandparents do outside of just being in the classroom? I guarantee you probably they build really good rapport and relationships with the young people that they're working with. Are there any activities that they do with those young people that are outside the classroom as well?
Well, they don't do any activities outside of the classroom with the children unless it's a school-based activity. But once a month, we do have them come to our office or to the Proctor Holt Health Education Center. We partner with different community partners, Triad, and different programs to keep them abreast of health issues, scams, and different activities that are going on in the community that will help them stay safe and secure in their homes, as well as keep them informed about what's going on with Medicare, Medicaid. So we do a program once a month that will allow them to come in, or we will go to another location to take them to be able to keep them informed of what's going on, in our community as well as in our nation.
Okay. Also, with the limited funding, yet agencies like your agency are trying to do so much, but with such limited funding, how can the funding be increased so we can service more of foster grandparents?
Well, we are state and federal funded. Our program needs funding, and the only way we can get an increase in funding is for our legislators to be able to add those funded dollars, at a higher rate. Other funding sources, private funding sources, we do take donations to our program.
Could you repeat that, please?
We do take donations to our program from the private sector, and those donations are very much welcome. And it approximately takes about $2,400 to have another volunteer added on for a year.
And how can someone get in contact with you if they want to be one of those private donators?
If they wanted to contact me, my office number is 671-3950, or they could call the Community Action Agency or PCCEO Incorporated, as it's very well known, and ask them to connect them to the foster grandparent program.
And what is the reaction from parents of the children who participate with the foster grandparents? What are some of their testimonials?
The parents are always so thankful to have that volunteer in the classroom. The grandparents not only help with literacy and one-on-one, but they also have an opportunity to have, a one-on-one relationship with the children. If the children come in and they're having a bad day, they may be able to go over and talk to grandma. She may be able to calm them down. So, they have that one-on-one relationship. They build a bond. It gives these children another person to be accountable for or accountable to, which will allow them to sometimes, if the teacher can't calm them down, then they can go and sit and talk to grandma, and she can nurture them and give them the support that they need.
Can you help me out with one of the other follow-up questions that I had? How do the teachers and the community where the child care centers, where the foster grandparents are at, how do they feel about the foster grandparents coming into the classroom?
They love the foster grandparents to be there. It's another helping hand. It's one more person that they can lean and depend on to help this child get to the next learning level. They can't say enough about, how they appreciate having them in the classroom. You figure if there are one teacher and one aide and the aide is sick, then it's just the teacher and the volunteer. It seems sometimes that we don't have enough volunteers in our local schools or daycares, but we do have an overwhelming support from the stations that we currently have.
And what's the area in terms of the city that you cover?
We cover the entire city.
The entire city?
We have approximately 21 volunteer sites
Okay.
throughout the city of Peoria.
And are you looking to expand to other sites?
We are looking to expand. Tazewell County is an area where we consistently struggle to place volunteers and keep them placed. So I'm looking for seniors that are in the Tazewell County area to work in Tazewell County at locations there.
So I want to make sure you seniors who are in the Tazewell County area, you understand that you can they can contact you.
Yes, sir.
And make sure that they get signed up as a volunteer?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go ahead and start talking to you a little bit, Ms. Banks. Now, you know this is a little bit different for me. You're normally probably used to sitting on this side, so I'm a little nervous. I'm going to make sure that, we get all your information out, all right?
I like where you're sitting. I like where I'm sitting.
All right, all right. So which particular program are you currently working for?
Food and Fellowship, which is a fellowship program as well as a nutritious meal program for seniors 60 and over.
Okay. And could you tell us a little bit about the program?
We currently have 6 sites. We start at the Northwest at St. Charles, and we have a site at Sterling Towers. We have another site downtown area at Glen Oak. We have a site at Heartland. We have a site on the north end at Sharman House, and we have a site and on the south end at Southside Manor. These sites are more than sites for seniors to come and have a hot, nutritious meal, but it's also a place where they come and really form family.
Okay.
So at different sites, you may have one person who's missing for a couple of days, and there's going to be someone who's checking up on that individual. So people may know this program for the name of Senior Meals.
Okay.
But that was changed because it's more than a meal. It's also companionship and fellowship.
That is good to hear. How are the meals prepared on a daily basis? How many meals approximately, and how are they done?
Approximately 160 meals, and we have a central location. So all the meals are prepared at a 7-Eleven West McBean,
Okay.
and then a driver delivers those meals to the 6 sites.
Okay. And what are some of the main benefits of the program in regard to the nutritional aspects of it?
Well, one thing that I want our listeners and viewers to understand is that in Illinois, 1 in 6 individuals are turning 65 every 6 seconds.
Wow. Okay.
And of that number, many of our mature adults are at risk of going hungry. And so to have a place that you can come and eat a meal that is healthy, you're gonna have some meat, you're gonna have vegetables, you're gonna have fruit, you're gonna have some dairy products. So and it's gonna be hot and good. I should add that that we understand that there are many of our seniors who come to these sites that is the only meal they're going to get that day. So that's important. You cannot, for a suggested donation, and I say that it's a donation and it is suggested, of $2.
Okay.
The audience would understand that it costs us much more to prepare that meal, but we want to make sure that meal is affordable and available.
Okay. In regards to the meal, how are the meals prepared? Do you have like a nutritionist? I understand you told me about the location where they're prepared, but in terms of what is healthy for our seniors, is a lot of that stuff taken into consideration?
Yeah, there's a registered dietitian who prepares our menus. So, and they must follow certain regulations to meet the daily requirements for seniors. So because that's 1 meal a day, then that senior is going to get 33% of the daily recommended requirement in that 1 meal.
Okay. And what are some of the other activities that the seniors participate in other than just the meal and the fellowship? What are some other?
Well, there are games at all the sites, and they're particular to that site. There may be some people at this particular site who are very good at bingo, so you got bingo happening at that site. There at another site they may have card games that go on. At each site they uniquely will celebrate the birthday of an individual. If there is someone who has lost in the family, you can count on that site coming together to support that family member. So as I said before, going there every day, and that the program is Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Most sites are serving their meals around 11:30. And so the seniors start arriving around 10:30 because they want to see who's going to be there and chat and catch up on the latest news on that, and really enjoy one another. Many of our seniors have children that are living outside of the Peoria area, and so they don't have family here oftentimes, so the individuals coming to those sites become family.
An extended family.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
What is the funding source?
We are federally funded,
Okay.
and we are not funded nearly to the amount that we need.
Okay.
In fact, our funding has been at the same level for the past 10 years. And if the food cost would be the same, that would be one thing, or the gas for the deliveries would be the same, but everything has increased.
Everyone knows that.
Except our funding.
Wow.
So we do have some unique ways for individuals to participate, and that is we have lunch cards that anyone who desires can purchase for $10, and that allows a senior at any site to have a meal. So if someone would want to contact me at 671-3900 to purchase a meal card, then they can gift a senior with that meal card,
That's a
and they
smart
can
idea.
take it to any site that they want to. We guarantee once a person comes to one site, then they will remain.
Wow, that's good to hear. I want you to repeat that number again. I want to make sure we get that on the screen for them as well, because I think that's a very important point. If someone wants to gift that card, how can they contact you again?
Okay, contact Joyce Banks at 671-3900. You may want to adopt a site. So we have varying prices for each site, and that's based upon the number of individuals attending that site. So for one day out of the year, someone will say, I want to make sure that everybody there has a good meal, then they might want to adopt a site for a day, a week, a month, a year. But again, 671-3900, contact Joyce Banks and make a donation for a senior.
And we were talking about a lot of different programs that have been cut. And everyone's noticing about all these different programs that are being cut, not only nationally but locally. How does that affect the senior meals, the food and fellowship program with funding cuts?
Well, individuals inside the program, when you hear things like Medicaid is going to be cut, then you know that there are people who have absolutely no other avenue of a resource, so that's going to affect them. And just like Ms. Green was saying, the $2.65 that the foster grandparent gets, to us listening, that's not a lot, but if you have so little, that $2.65 that's not going to be taxed does make a difference, multiplied times 4 or 8 for the week. So we have to look at ways to keep our seniors being fed.
Yes.
I mean, it's very basic.
Yes.
We just expect in this country that a person will have somewhere to live and could have a meal a day, and that's not always the case. So our funding source, which is Central Illinois Agency on Aging, cannot give us more money if they don't get more money. So we look at Congress to do something about the human capital. We talk about capital development and bricks and mortar, but these are people, human beings, that are going without. And I don't know how we can, in all good conscience, continue to look at cutting programs that are going to serve those who are in poverty, including our children. So we're at two spectrums, our children and our seniors.
Yes.
And they're the ones who are bearing the brunt. When we talk about our seniors, both Ms. Green and I know they have most often worked hard.
Yes.
And now they're at the, the twilight of their years,
Yes.
and still now having to figure out how I'm going to eat. It's just a travesty.
Yes, it is. So it sounds like you may be making a road trip maybe down to Springfield or something like that to talk to some legislators in the future. Have you done anything like that?
Well, we need to go to Washington.
Okay.
Because
All
we're,
right.
we're looking at now, I'm federally funded. I know you get some state funds.
Yes.
And Lord knows we understand that Springfield is has a lot of trouble.
Yes.
But one of the things when we look at ways to cut, we have to remember, that these are human beings again.
Yes, they
These are seniors.
Yes.
And she was talking about 55 and older, and we're looking at 60 and over for our program. So we need help.
Yes.
And we not only need to go as people who manage these programs, but our viewing audience.
In large
Call
numbers.
your legislator, write a letter, email, tweet it, or whatever. It's a
Facebook it.
Facebook it, yeah.
Yes. Okay. And one last question before we close out. In terms of expanding, are you trying to expand your program as well?
Yeah, we know that we need to service those seniors who are living in the East Bluff area, as well as seniors who are living in the center of Peoria. So we're looking for ways to expand in those areas. Thank you for asking.
Not a problem. I want to thank both of you ladies for coming here to Captions. Hopefully we got your message out. Hopefully your phones are going to be ringing off the hook. Donations are going to be made, and people are going to try to help make changes with the seniors that you currently work
Thank you.
with.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned right here to Captions. Once again, I'm your host, Lamar Anderson of Captions, and I want to thank you all for tuning in.